Hello, my name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. I am a terrorist attack victim, not of some Muslim or some sect that the government of the United States and their mass media claims. I am a terrorist attack victim of the United States government. I was forcibly injected after surviving an attack on my life. I was a federal bank examiner for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation in the United States. I see them attacking the rabbis over in India, and I do not know exactly what's going on there. I know that the Orthodox Rabbis do not believe in Zionism. I do not know if that's Orthodox Rabbis there that they're attacking or what. I could never see attacking an Orthodox Jewish rabbi. If these other rabbis are involved with Israel, the reestablishment of Israel, and you hit someone in the face, you can expect to be hit back. That's the nature of it. The federal government has injected me and I've been tortured. My name has been slandered. I can't even get work. I was an accountant here in the United States. I was given $1 million bail for owning a legally owned firearm after the attack on my life in 2001. Because I was attacked not only by the criminals in the streets associated with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation or the federal government, I was attacked by those agents who inject us. I see no problem in attacking people in the government who think they are not terrorists to us. I would rather have been shot in the head than to have been injected in early 2001. I think the attacks in New York and Washington, D.C. and other places on 9/11, to some extent, they may have been justified. On the other hand, the only people who might have been killed might have been our people, those who are innocent. I consider the United States government to be more of a terrorist, or those people who control the government that would never serve their military again. I made a dreaded mistake. They did forced injections on myself. They might have done some forced medical procedures that I'm not aware of. I was knocked unconscious on one occasion, and I know they were doing forced experiments on veterans at the Los Angeles Veterans Administration. Most people do not care for each other in the United States, as evidenced by what has been going on. People kick each other, they rob each other, there's no ethics. I consider the United States to be a pit of vipers. I see what's going on in India. I know that they've been getting a lot of the jobs out of the United States in their engineering. It's simply competition, and competition on price and skill. But if someone's talking about stopping terror and they are out there involved with a country who is terrorizing innocent people, as is what happened, what I see is what happened in the Gaza Strip, just recently, you will be attacked back. Because I am beefing my government in the United States, I do not care if the United States government is attacked. I would consider those closed governments such as Mobile, Alabama, and that government in Los Angeles, that corrupt judge who did not even take into account that I had been attacked, and their attorneys. I do not see attacks on them as being terror. I see it as justified retaliation. I do not have fear of dying. I do not have fear of dying, and I would rather have been killed than to have been injected and tortured. I know I see what's going on in India, but I see the government of the United States, and I see what's happened to me and others, and we are the prison nation of the world, or we are being silenced. The government has their followers. They're basically paid off like those people who followed Adolf Hitler. So I do not know about these terrorist attack in Mumbai. I know that if these rabbis were not Orthodox Jewish rabbis, all I got to say is, if you draw blood, you will have blood drawn, most likely, unless you have a technological weapon that can beat your opponent. That's the nature of the warfare, the sport of warfare, if you consider it a sport. I consider sometimes things justifiable homicide, such as in Nuremberg, Germany. They actually killed the Germans after World War II for doing forced injections and forced experiments. They've done forced injections and forced experiments here in the United States. The federal government runs around calling people insane or criminal. They have their followers. They're just like the Third Reich Nazis. I applaud the overthrow of the current ruling regime, and I hope that someday we can be free from forced injections, torture, and having our human rights and civil rights removed. We are a prison nation. When I see attacks over in other nations, I see people being killed over in the Gaza Strip. In December, I see they weren't Jewish, and I see people that are Jewish being killed over in India in November. And I see myself having been injected and tortured and pushed out from government and harassed at my home. I consider the world could be going into a state of siege warfare. We know it's a technological warfare world. I'm currently living in Pensacola, Florida. I despise this place because of the military presence. Many people would kill anyone for money. It's like being in among Adolf Hitler's favorite killers. I hope to leave the United States, and I am considering going to India. I do not want to go anywhere to any nation where the government sanctions the killing of innocent people, such as what we're seeing in Israel right now. Of course, that's the argument that I have disagreements on with people. That's what discussions are supposed to be about. It appears the world's going to war. They injected me without even hearing me. It made no difference, so I do not care if those agents who injected me are killed or their bosses in the United States government. When I was speaking with a veteran, a Vietnam veteran, who have high rank in the federal government once. He pointed to his right arm, and he said George Bush Jr. or Sr. was shot in his left arm. He put his hand, this guy did this, he put his hand on his phone. He said George Bush Sr. was shot in his left arm and pointed at his right arm. That tells me that in that particular government building they were listening. I know that Thomas Crane Wells, a federal prosecutor in Seattle, was killed in his home in 2001. That was the same year that I was attacked. He was killed in, I think, in October. I was attacked in February on the streets by federal government's assassins. I survived. Then I was injected in April of 2001 in Los Angeles. I consider a state of siege warfare could be heading toward us. I see no reason to serve the United States military. We should be very wary of them. I do not believe we have control of them. They do forced experiments. They're allowing forced experiments on veterans afterwards. Why serve a military or any government that's going to abuse you? I applaud the overthrow of the regime of power. As far as this thing going on in India, that might have been justifiable homicide on some extent. Like I said, you draw blood, you will have blood drawn. If we're going to a state of world warfare, I hope that it ends soon, either through victory for the humane in their conquest to get off this planet and to live peaceful lives, or to end our existence as a species. This is Kurt Brown, St. Rambone. You can find Kurt Brown, also known as St. Rambone. I have a website titled Mobile Audit Club. You can find it by searching for Google. Have a good day, and remember, never drop your guard with any governments out there. As one veteran told me, he told me not to work in the federal government as an accountant. I worked in a multi-billion-dollar banking regulatory industry, and I saw where we have criminals in power. It is no wonder we have nothing in the United States any longer. We're nothing more than slaves. I really do not care if the regime in power is destroyed. I truly do regret having ever trusted the government or even having been sent to their public schools. Their indoctrinations when I was a child were absurd. They had us pledge allegiance to a flag of a government controlled by people who were forcing people in my neighborhood to go kill innocent people and to be killed in Vietnam. Now they're fighting all over the world. I see young people still following those people because they're hungry. If we're going to become a world of fighting dogs, let's go ahead and have a full melee like they had in India, because I would never trust the federal government. I would never trust the local government, such as that in Mobile, Alabama, as you can see on my videos where they are beating me for my government. They also came to my home illegally, telling me not to go back to a government meeting to film as a reporter. I'm an investigative journalist, degreed. I'm also a degreed accountant. I also have education in medicine and computer science. I have like a doctorate in my education attainments. The Chinese have always, and even the Russians have always gone after people of higher educations because they fear them, because they're running totalitarian dictatorships, very much like what we have in the United States. I believe we're in a technological war, and you cannot believe what you see. That rabbi was actually fortunate that he was killed right there and that his child was released. I think it's better to be killed than to be forcibly injected or used in experiments or anything of that sort. If the world goes into a worldwide war, I can't say it hasn't been coming to this. It appears mankind likes to kill each other. We step over each other like dirt mounds when we start killing each other. So if the federal government ever injects me again, or if they inject another innocent person, I hope everyone involved in that is assassinated. This is Kurt Brown, St. Rambone, Mobile Audit Club, said we will never, ever trust you again.